Alrighty, Friday, February 2nd, a quick session recap here. Starting off with ES, we come into the session pre-NFP. Pre-NFP, wanted to see how price reacted versus that 49.55 level. Now, as a reminder, looking at yesterday's move, Thursday's move, pretty much retrace the entirety of that FOMC sell-off. FOMC, that sell-off put price directly into a known area of support. Just looking left on the chart, we have big time support right through here, 48.75. You have the overnight bounce, a retest during the actual session, again talking about Thursday, and a retrace of that entire FOMC move to essentially, if you look at the after hours action as well on the back of some mega cap earnings, essentially puts price right back into the week's high, even breaking the week's high there. So coming into the sesh, we wanted to see how price was going to continue to trade versus the earlier in the week high, that 49.55 area. Kind of just a bit of oscillation here, right? Now, post NFP, we have an initial rejection of that area of resistance. And we're back into that 49.35, which has been a level of interest for the past couple of weeks. You can see responsive buyers versus that level on two different attempts here following NFP. Phenomenal scalping opportunities there. Price does eventually resolve lower here, but no follow through. Absolutely no follow through. So what we see coming into the regular trading hours session is we see the session volume point of control move right through here, which tells us that this is most likely accumulation, especially once price starts to resolve higher right off the open. You get a retest, and pretty much from there, it's essentially off to the races with this 49.35 area holding again as support. So that was the primary level on watch coming into today's session. Couple of sell opportunities versus prior day high. Those aren't trades I'm personally taking, but that's a great target if you're scalping versus the 49.35. What we have is a series of higher lows that develop, and then eventually price resolves higher back into this week's high, back into that overnight high, up through the 49.55, up through the 49.63, which was the overnight high. And from there, it's just a matter of going for the 5K level. 5K right through here, which was our next upside level of interest. So overall, pretty nice session, a number of strong opportunities today, depending on what strategies you like to trade. We had some great intraday reversals. Personally, was focused on the reversals versus the posted levels. That's going to be the 4935 and then the 4955. Even some great afternoon action. Retest of that overnight high, higher low. Good opportunities to be getting long for that afternoon leg higher into the 5K level. And so when we actually take a look at the daily chart, price is pushing 52-week highs. We've got the index at not only 52-week highs, but all-time highs as well. Let's take a look at the weekly. Next week, we're going to be looking for that reaction versus the 5K, which is essentially today's high, to go for what can be called all-time highs on ES. Now, as a reminder, the futures are just going to be a derivative following SPX, which is the true index. And when we take a look at SPX, keep in mind, this is technically at all-time highs. So ES looking for that continuation move. Not much else to do when we are trading at all-time highs. Just look for intraday setups, near-term setups to be getting involved with the push higher. That's pretty much the focus on ES for next week. Now, I'll be sharing an in-depth breakdown of the big picture setup with the weekly kickoff on Sunday, but it's going to be pretty straightforward. We want this breakout from this week to continue to hold, which is essentially the 4953, 4955 area. Buyers are now going to be most interested in defending this area for the next leg higher into that 5030, 5050, and then the 5100. Now, having a look at NQ, let's take a look at NQ here. NQ still within this range, has failed to really make a significant new high here. We did have some good action today. What I would like to see on NQ is buyers force the breakout up through here, and then we'll have a much better setup to work with in NQ come next week. So main level of interest for NQ next week is going to be that 17,800 level. I've personally been focused on ES for the duration of this week. In my opinion, the setup was much easier in ES, so I'm going to focus when deciding between ES and NQ. I'm just going to focus wherever the easiest setup is. In this case, ES had a favorable structure, so my focus was there. As far as individual names, we have a number on watch. It's going to be all second day plays. So we have Apple for a second day play. Look how phenomenal this move was versus support. Trigger level at 180, looking for 184, 187, plays out perfectly. Beautiful move there in Apple, excuse me. Next up is going to be Amazon, another second day play on watch. Did not quite hit our PT1 on that Amazon. We have FSLY on the list. Nice move here. Big volume, looking for that second day play. Meta, strong buying activity. This is all-time highs, I believe, on Meta. Yes, well into all-time highs. So looking for the continuation move. And then Snow. Great volume here as well. Looking for this weekly base breakout. That'll be a second day play on watch with Snow. Main focus continues to be the index. Again, phenomenal opportunities that we've been seeing this week and just recently in general in the index. So we're going to continue to focus on the action there. Primary watch is going to be for the continuation move in ES and then the breakout play in NQ. Hope everyone had a great week. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me in the Traders Think Tank. You can send me a DM there this weekend. I'll be happy to get back to you. Always happy to help out. Get that trade review done, and I will see you Monday morning for the pre-market prep live stream. Have a great weekend.